Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Intercoat Clear. We've had a lot of customers ask some questions about it, and so we've shot another video, but we thought we'd go ahead and do a recap of the video just to make sure that it's more relevant and of course, hopefully cover a few new things on it. So let's get started. Let's say that you wanted to go out and you wanted to start doing some more custom one-off work whenever you're doing your paint work. Now, this is where the Intercoat Clear really comes into play, because if you think about it, we're going to put this down into simple terms. So mainly what you're looking at here is you're looking at a clear base coat, okay? So if you go into, say, any of the big box stores and you want to get maybe a gallon of paint, whether it be red or blue or green or anything like that for, say, your wall or something like that, you are going to buy a 3/4 of a gallon white, and then they're going to add in all the toner for that specific color. Now, in the automotive world, we normally start out with a clear base paint, mainly because whenever we start out with a clear base paint, we have a lot more color gamut, a lot more colors that we can reference. So whereas maybe the big box stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, anything like that, they may have, let's just say, 5,000 different colors to choose from. In the automotive world, because of we're starting out with a clear base paint instead of a white, now we're opening up a lot more avenues, and of course we have a lot more toners to choose from, which gives us a lot bigger color variety. So we may be able to get 20,000 or 50,000 different shades and colors and things like that. So you have a lot more choices, as well as whenever you are wanting to do a custom one-off piece of work, let's say for instance a candy, or you want to add a specific pearl over the top of something, or you want to do glow in the dark paints, or you want to do anything similar to that right there, this is the route that you're going to go. So let's talk a little bit about the Intercoat Clear, kind of how to mix it, as well as what you're going to be doing with each of these, as well as some of the things not to do, so that way you can make an educated decision on whether this part right here is going to be what you need for your final finish. So first, let's start off with just the Intercoat Clear. So if you have just the Intercoat Clear alone, that is not all that you're going to need for most anything that you're going to be spraying. So if you take this and you shake it, you'll notice that it is a very thick clear. Now, again, I'm not saying clear as clear coat, but it is a very thick resin, okay? So in order to be able to spray this out of a paint gun and to have it atomized correctly, you want to be able to add the reducer to it. Now, in this case, most of the time in this Intercoat only, again, everybody's got their own, and so you may have to adjust accordingly per the manufacturer, but for ours, you're normally going to mix this at a 1-to-1 ratio. So you're going to have one part of the actual Intercoat Clear, and then you're going to have one part of a urethane reducer. In this case, we may use our medium reducer. So now that we have these mixed up at a 1-to-1 mix ratio, now we are ready to add in any of the components that we want to add to this mixture. So we can add pearls, we can add flakes, we can add metallics, we can add glow in the dark, candies, anything like that, and that is going to give us a custom one-off look. So let's say that you're wanting to add a custom pearl or a custom metallic or flake over an existing paint job or over your parts that you've already painted or something similar to that. So what you're going to do is again, mix 1-to-1, one part of the Intercoat Clear to one part of reducer, and then you're going to add in your pearl or your flake. Now, this is where it becomes very custom, because you are the one that is mixing this up. So you can normally go by grams, which is what we normally do to try to make sure that we get everything exactly the same. So if we have to mix up another batch, we know exactly how much we've mixed. Or I've even seen some people to where they will do, like, say, a teaspoon of this to a quart of that. So if you don't have a gram scale, that is another way that you can do that. But of course, the gram scale is normally going to be a little bit more accurate. But again, this is personal preference. You can use however way you want to use that. So once you have that on there, you will go ahead, add it in, mix it all up really good, shake it up, and then add it to the paint gun, and then start applying it as a standard base coat. So this right here still needs to have the standard flash time, just like a normal base coat, 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer, depending on how hot or cold your area is that you're spraying, but you still want to treat it just like a standard base coat. So you spray it on, let it flash, spray on another coat if you feel like you need it, let it flash. Once you're done, now you're able to go with your standard clear coat, which is going to be your top coat to help protect everything, give you UV resistance and everything like that. We've got a lot of other videos on those, so if you're interested in the clear coat videos, definitely check out our YouTube channel. It has a lot of that information as well on there. So on another note, let's say that you wanted to go ahead and you wanted to add in a candy concentrate. So this is one of our candy concentrates. It's a radiant red that we have here. And again, we're going to be using the same mix ratio of 1:1, and then we are going to be adding our candy concentrate. Now this concentrate is probably going to be added at a rate of, say, 8:1, 10:1, 12:1, somewhere in that area. So what I mean by that is these parts right here mixed together is going to be the, let's just say 10 part, and then this concentrate is going to be the 1 part. Now again, it could be 8:1, 10:1, whichever, but to make it easier for yourself, if it's say 10:1, then you can just go 5 parts of this, 5 parts of this, to 1 part of that, and that gives you a mixing ratio of 10:1. And so now we do the same thing, just like we would whenever we're spraying our base coats. We're going to apply the candy color, let it flash off, let it dry, apply another one if needed, and then continue the same process with the actual clear coat being applied over the top. So now that we know what we can use this for, let's talk about a little bit about what this is not used for. And so a lot of people get the notation that this is actually a clear coat, and it is not an actual clear coat. It does have inner coat clear in the name of it, but it is technically a base coat or a binder, if you will. So you definitely want to make sure that this is not applied as a final clear coat over your jobs, because it will dry, but it will not offer the hardness or the scratch resistance or the durability that a standard clear coat would. So you definitely do not want to apply just this alone over any of your parts without having the proper clear coat for the job itself. So again, this is definitely not an actual clear coat itself. Another thing you definitely do not want to do is just keep spraying it on, because this is still a base coat. Even though it's clear, it is very easy to spray more than what you think that you're spraying, because you're not actually seeing the color change from, say, a primer gray to a white that you may be spraying. So definitely make sure that you're getting a good lighting and you're not overspraying this and you're putting too much of the product on at one time, because then you're going to run into more issues. So definitely make sure you've got a good wet coat down, and then you can go on and move forward with the other steps in the process. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. Of course, if you have any questions or comments about the Intercoat Clear or anything like that, definitely leave them in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you on anything with that. Also, if you haven't already, definitely check the website. It has all of the links that you're going to need to purchase this and tons of other things for the Hydrographics. So if you're curious about getting into Hydrographics or anything like that, the website is definitely a great place to start for everything in the Hydrographics world. I'm Bryan from Liquid Concepts, and this is how we customize your world. We'll see you guys next time.